Alrighty. Let's kick this off, shall we? Balance. On this website.
You run those scripts, William.
Hello, Dashi.
Hello.
How you doing, good sir?
Good in yourself, buddy.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Throw you in there.
Yeah, that's better. How was the weekend?
That was pretty good, you know. Went to a horse race, bet on some horses, won some monies.
Very, very nice.
And otherwise, just chilled. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
How was yours?
Very nice. We got a little swept up in election fever. But,
election fever got to you, did it?
Yeah, we were watching polls coming in as they were going, making our predictions.
Yeah.
We didn't expect the MK party to come third, but they did. That was
I kind of feel like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I'll send you the website link. The most drastic flip was KZN. Like, I'd never seen anything like KZN.
Please send it to me.
I'm gonna send you
I've seen it.
the News 24. So if you click on this link, I don't know if it'll show you the 2019 results. Okay, hold on. Let me go into KZN, because you first got to look at the 2019 results, and then you click on 2024. It's wild. Okay. Here, let me send you this. There we go. So you gotta check out the
News 2024. Okay.
No, go. Yeah, okay. That's the, what is that? Okay, yeah, cool. So this is KZN in 2019, right? Those are all the green is obviously KZN, and then the red is the IFP, because obviously the IFP's got a very strong base in KZN because it's a very Zulu
IFP was
majority play.
Yeah,
and also they're a very Zulu party, but they're rather conservative, but they have a very strong showing obviously in KZN. Now, so that's 2019, right? Now click on the 2024 tab just above, right on the right there.
Wow. To be fair, the IFP did hold strong.
They held strong because the ANC, because the IFP voter base would never vote ANC, and they would never vote MK. They're always going to be pretty partisan towards their base. But look at that flip. Now, the biggest craziness.
100% flip. That is a wild flip.
If you go down to where Durban is, that's the eThekwini municipality, so that's where we used to live. Well, that's the only place anyone ever visits. So you see there where Durban is? Yeah, there.
48%.
Yeah, it is an absolutely wild swing from 2019.
That's 48% from 55%.
Yeah, dude. Insane shit right there.
What?
Yeah. And this is coming from a party that didn't even exist It didn't even exist until like 2013. Sorry, like 2023. To be fair, they got a legacy, right? I
They
mean,
do, but
MK
their
Mkhonto
legacy
yeah.
is fucking Zuma.
Well,
That's their
the legacy is
legacy.
the name, and the popular figurehead or the cult of personality is Zuma.
That is Zuma.
Who, by the way, after
The
all of this
Trump.
win, after getting 15% of the national vote in one election, kicking the EFF's ass, right? This motherfucker denies the election results, like on
Wait,
on
does
the
he?
nose. Yeah, he's like, nah,
Zuma.
didn't happen that way. Yeah, he denies them. Number one, and number two, he says even if we do, um, decide to go into a coalition government, we refuse to go into coalition with the ANC unless number one, Cyril Ramaphosa drops out. Okay, he's no longer stands for president, and number two, they pardon Jacob Zuma of all of his charges.
Are those the two requirements that they put forth?
Those are the requirements, dude. They don't want to go into the fuck. They've literally sitting now, dude, with I think it's 58 or 56 seats in parliament. They've released official numbers, so they've got 56 seats in parliament. Okay, and the whole idea is not to govern. Like it's literally just Jacob Zuma on his fucking power fantasy. That's literally all it is.
That is insane.
It is insane to me. So the ANC and the MK right now, their conversation is definitely not on the table for coalitions. So the next best natural fit, one might think, would be the EFF. And the EFF demands are a little less crazy, but they're pretty much in line with their policy demands, which is that if the EFF goes into power with Jacob Zuma, their biggest one is to start immediately expropriating farmland. That's their main demand.
How do I spell Cyril?
Cyril is C-Y-R... sorry,
C-Y-R.
C-Y-R-I-L, yeah.
Yeah, that's Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah.
That's wild that they're calling for Cyril to step down.
Yeah, that's what they want, number one. So the EFF, again... So just to state the numbers here, the official numbers are that the ANC are at 39.76%. So that's 40%, right? That is a drop of 17.5 points from 2019. So they've lost literally a third of their voter base. And that third, more or less, has been split between EFF, MK, and DA votes.
Yeah.
Now,
results.
so obviously the ANC...
I know the IEC. I've seen the IEC's
Yeah,
page.
the numbers, yeah. I hate that page, dude. That's the page everyone's using. It is so disgusting. It is...
What?
It is poorly put together.
Really?
You can't even properly... Yeah, dude, have you been on the IEC page?
I'm
Try and click on
currently
any
on the IEC
regional
page.
district. Are you? Hold on. Now, try look at a region and try and see how annoying this shit is.
I mean, this thing is constantly fucking glitching out, but yeah.
Exactly, it's shit, dude. It's I hate this site. The News 24 site is so much better because you can actually zoom in to like an individual ward. So if you go to KZN, you can go to Durban. You can click on Durban. You can see all the wards in Durban. You can even click on individual wards in Durban and see the sub wards. It's like you got so much on this site.
Oh, that's cool.
This is so much better as an interactive map than the IEC map. You check 2024 in eThekwini, bro. Just look how now. One thing you got to take for note is that while the ANC is definitely the biggest losers of this election, it's arguable that the DA are one of the biggest winners of this election.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Western Cape, okay, take a look at Western Cape. Not in 2024, just 2019.
Yeah, in 2019. So
see all the municipalities they don't have. They're still, they don't really have all the municipalities.
Yeah, they don't have
2024,
everything.
they have cleaned the whole thing out.
Oh, it's a clean slate. Holy shit.
It's a clean slate. The DA have finished off the Western Cape. There's no coming back from that. And the whole reason for that is that in the Western Cape, at least, they've capitalized on the ANC loss, because the ANC have peeled votes in the Western Cape, not to MK, because they don't have a big showing there, but to the PA party.
PA? Who the fuck's the PA?
Now the PA is the Patriotic Alliance. They're led by a guy called Gayton McKenzie. Gayton McKenzie is a name I've heard on Twitter a few times, but nothing too serious up until obviously now the elections. This party nationally has scored around maybe 4 to 5% of the vote, and that's big when you think about just how
far
badly
right South
small
African
parties
party.
do. They're far right, okay, but only when it comes to immigration. All right. In most of what they talk about, you could align them in many ways with the EFF. They're sort of very populist, but their big thing is shutting down the borders. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, the ideology is coloured interests. It's not a slur.
Very big coloured interests.
Funny enough, coloured is considered a slur up here in the UK.
Yeah, I'd imagine, but in South Africa, it's
anti-immigration are their two key ideologies.
Right?
Which it makes
crazy,
sense.
Right?
It makes sense that then they are
so they're very
far
nationalistic.
right and nationalistic, and
so they're very
nationalistic and anti-immigration, and I can't
understand anti-immigration,
why they're considered right, far right.
Yeah, but they're very big on the concept of social welfare and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, I think
they're
that's
kind of national
pervasive.
Socialists. Okay, they're quite literally national socialists, but not like Nazi national socialist, just national socialist.
Well, yeah, they don't have the Aryan race piece. Yeah.
Yes, so the DA.
There's no eugenics happening in the Western Cape.
No, I promise. No, the DA in the Western Cape didn't peel too many numbers, or the PA didn't peel too many numbers from the DA in the Western Cape, more so from the ANC, oddly enough. But remember, it's national socialism.
So the ANC went down from 31% down to
20%. So that's the PA cutting in there, as you can see, because the DA maintained a pretty similar percentage.
Yeah.
It's more or less
and then you have like a 1% peel to the DA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now the most interesting
that's
part
interesting.
is
so
Gauteng.
The Western Cape is completely blue now.
Yeah, it is. They made huge gains in the Western Cape. Absolutely capitalized on ANC losses in the Western Cape. You can say that the Western Cape is 100% DA locked. Okay, in the same way KZN is now MK locked. Now, the new battleground is Gauteng. So if you take a looky-loo, the DA did not capitalize very well.
The DA have South... in 2019.
This is 2019. Yeah. It's very much the same in 2024.
Very much the same.
Yeah, and the reason for this is that
ANC
for some
have
reason,
lost a large portion though.
They have lost a lot, but now for the first time, you see what I mean? It's gone to the MK, because the MK have got quite a bit of a showing in Gauteng.
It's gone to. Oh, it's all gone to MK.
Quite literally split to the MK. But the DA, for all of their bravado, they could not capitalize on this, obviously, in 2019. But in 2024, it's still a tough uphill to climb. But in 2029, my prediction is if that people rally, and if the DA party still exists in 2029, because we still have to talk about the coalition talks, it's very hopeful that the DA could, if everyone rallies together behind them, take Gauteng. It's very possible. It is
possible for them to flip it. Yeah, that's a 10% flip.
It's all they need. It's
a
in
10%.
reach.
Yeah, it is. Considering the ANC lost more than 10%, that's 53 down to 35.
Yeah, that's 15. Yeah, that's like 20
points. That's 15. Yeah, like a 19-point flip or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the PA had a decent showing here as well.
It's gone to MK, Action
PA.
SA, and PA.
PA.
It's just filtered to like not
These
ANC.
smaller parties, yeah.
It's like it's protest votes. It's literally protest votes.
That's all it was. Now, I wish I'd been a bit more staunch in this, because in 2019 I was talking about how the DA could take counting. But when Tiff and I were talking about who to vote for, Tiffany didn't want to vote for the DA. She wanted to vote for one of the smaller parties, which is called Rise SA or something like that. And you know what? I was like, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
vote your
it's
principles.
protest votes.
It's a protest vote.
100%.
But
But you can
in
see
2019,
there's a lot of protest votes this year.
Big time protest. But there's always been. This is just how South Africa goes. Okay, if you don't like the DA, you don't like the ANC, you just park your vote in some small party. But now I will push as much as I can in 2029, but as many people as possible to vote DA, because now is actually an opportunity for change here in Gauteng. Getting the DA to actually take control of this province.
I love that. I love Action. I love Action SA has 3.6% of the vote. That's fucking great.
But dude, it's hilarious, because nationally they've done so poorly. Their showing was nowhere near
what people expected, number one. And number two, the DA's internal polling, because there's that multi-charter party thing. Obviously, they released their internal polling. And one of the things Action SA was very upset about was that the DA constantly had their polling numbers so low. And well, the polling numbers that the DA had internally kind of matched how people ended up voting, because a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, the DA, they're going to lose so many votes, they're going to be like 15% of the national vote. Now, the DA had their strongest showing in this election than any election prior, if you count percentages and how many seats they won. In terms of voter turnout, I think everyone kind of lost out this election. Voter turnout was a little bit lower. It was pretty low. Vote turnout was below 60%.
Yeah, well, it says there it's at 61.9.
61.9. Yeah. Okay, 62.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw it before it was completed.
So, if we don't flip Gauteng, the least we could do, if you click on Johannesburg specifically, it's possible that the DA could flip Johannesburg. And that would be a massive flip, because it's 5 points within reach. Like, it's literally 5 points within reach. Okay, 6 points, but still. Okay, 8 points, never mind. Fuck, dude. When I was looking at the votes tallying in, that was around 70%. The DA and the ANC were like neck and neck. And then obviously the DA pulled away. Well, the ANC pulled away.
Which makes sense. The ANC would.
It makes sense, because obviously Soweto is where a lot of the population does live. And you want to know something interesting? You see all those little red dots?
It's EFF.
Those are universities.
Oh, really? Is this Wits?
That's a university.
This is fucking Wits. It is Wits.
That's their voter base, bro.
No, that makes sense, though.
Yeah, well, of course it makes sense.
That does make sense. Your students are definitely your more socialist individuals.
They're more socialist.
But I love that. That is really funny. Oh my god.
You know, this is why I'll keep saying the EFF are going to fall from grace after this election, because number one, you need a base, okay? You need a fucking base, and the MK have that base, and they have that base in an entire fucking province, okay? They flipped a singular province, like, in the most insane way ever. Like, it literally just went from a non-starter party to being like the leading party of like KZN by like 20 points. It was madness.
Yeah. Wait, let's go to KZN then.
I just feel like that was the biggest craziness.
2019, KZN was 55% ANC.
Yeah.
To be fair, this was Zuma, so the Zulu people who are primarily in KwaZulu-Natal.
2019, or you mean 2014?
No, 2019.
2019 was Ramaphosa.
Oh, it was Ramaphosa. Sorry. Wait, then 2014.
Zuma was ousted out in 2018.
Yeah. You're right.
So you will see here in 2019
65% down to
much
55%.
better in 2014, because they had a Zulu president. The ANC had a Zulu president, which means the IFP didn't have much of a big old showing, because
I hate to say it, and people find this to be racist to say for some reason, but I say it quite staunchly. I'm pretty convinced that the Zulus vote pretty tribally. It's their man, it's their guy, you know.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
is it the case?
the king can do what he wants.
Yeah, but look at it. I mean, why is it the case that the IFP do so poorly during elections when there's a Zulu man who's the head of the ANC, but whenever it's not a Zulu guy, like
as soon as there's a 5%.
I mean, bro, just look at the 2004 election. Okay, that's when it was Thabo Mbeki. Okay, just look at the start. See, now if you go to 1999, the IFP actually won KZN. So if you zoom out, because 1999 doesn't it? Yeah, you see that. Yeah.
Wow, that is actually pretty insane.
So I can tell you, KZN is not a...
Yeah, they are. It's the Zulu people voting together.
It's the Zulu people voting together. That's what it is. It's very tribal. The ANC will always have quite a strong base in the north. So Limpopo and the northwest. Also the Eastern Cape.
The thing is, you calling it tribal, I think, has a... People will attach to it negative connotations.
It should do, because it's very reductive. There are obviously a lot of reasons, notwithstanding tribal reasons.
It's the people voting as
a group. You know. I think it's fair to say that
they're a cultural group within South Africa that are voting together. It's just
unfortunately,
and I guess you can reduce that to a tribe.
The thing about the IFP is that Mangosuthu Buthelezi, he was never a populist figure. He was always a very hardline, staunch conservative figure who obviously fought for rights and stuff, but had very different views on how the Zulu people should be, leading themselves. Whereas Zuma was a strong populist figure who had been the president for just under 10 years and who also has a cult following in KZN. So all it needed was a cult of personality to start their own party within a province that loves them dearly. And I suppose, the rest is history.
So Mangosuthu Buthelezi was in office from 1994 to 2004, so for 10 years.
Yeah, as the
president
of the
IFP. Other political affiliations is to the ANC Youth League.
Yeah, minor affiliations. Remember, if you think about it, all of these factional parties like the EFF and the MK are all previous ANC
they're ANC factions,
Yeah.
It's ANC factions that have developed into their own unique party.
And it's weird because no one has been able to split the ANC vote.
But the ANC.
But the ANC, sure. But no one has been able to conquer or to break the ANC as much as the MK party has. Like, this is
because the IFP lost 10% from 2009 to 2014. If you were to count 2004 to 2014, that is a 20% drop. Of 24%.
I wish we had more details for 1999.
That would be interesting.
But unfortunately,
it only goes. And then Zuma comes through.
And then Ramaphosa comes in.
%. Yeah. Well, you have Zuma as head of the MK.
Yeah. Now Zuma again as the MK head, no longer an ANC factional leader.
Yeah. And the whole Zulu people, all the Zulu people have rallied behind him.
Yeah, except for those two little municipalities down in the south, which seem to hold strong ANC. But I suppose they're the closest to the Eastern Cape, so...
Yeah. That's a wild swing, dude. It truly is. Yeah, it is incredible how much MK it just shows you to what degree a portion of the ANC is like how strong the Zulu people are as part of that ANC bloc, as a bloc of the ANC.
It's true, but at the end of the day, the new thing that needs to be is the coalition. There is no way forward for the ANC without support from at least an extra 10 to 20% of the parliament.
Yeah.
So how it's going to look is one of two ways. Number one, the ANC enters into a coalition with another few parties to get their majority. The most likely at the moment, believe it or not, is the DA. Now, remember when I said that after this election, I believe that
it is conditional, though.
It is very conditional. The DA coalition is extremely conditional. But John Steenhuisen, who is the head of the DA, has said openly that he was very willing to work with the ANC because his number one thing is to stop what he calls the Doomsday Coalition, which is a coalition between the EFF, the MK, and the ANC. He says that would be far more disastrous than the DA taking a political hit and going into coalition with the ANC.
But that is true, though.
It is very true. It is the best out, and I said this when we discussed the elections about a month ago. I said this, that the best possible outcome is a DA-ANC coalition. But I didn't think that would be possible until I saw the demands from the other two parties, the MK and the EFF. And these demands seem to be very, very extreme. And it doesn't look like someone like Ramaphosa, or at least Ramaphosa's team, would be willing to, in any way, concede to those demands. So unless the MK or the EFF decide to stop dancing around like idiots and make, the EFF is, funny enough, the more rational party in these demands.
With the nationalization of land.
Well, it's more rational than, saying, well, if you don't pardon me and resign.
Oh, wait, sorry, yeah. Cyril to step down and the national pardon. I forgot about that.
And a national pardon. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? It's literally a shakedown, bro. Like,
no, it is.
At least the EFF are like, hey,
ironically, it is Zuma doing a shakedown of
it
the
is a
ANC.
Shakedown.
It's the Zulu people being like, listen here, motherfucker. Like with a spear to your heart, you will accept these
quite
terms.
Literally, I mean, look at their logo. It's literally a Zulu
it's literally
warrior
a Zulu warrior. I want to south. Let's bring it up. I want to bring up a big. Yeah. It's literally a Zulu warrior. Like, you can't get any more blatant than that.
So, I thought this would be such a funny thing if this actually happened, and I think this is kind of unlikely, but let's say this happens.
It's the Zulu for Spear of the Nation.
Yeah, I mean,
which makes sense. That is because the Zulu people are a warring tribe.
Well, I mean, if I were to be asked to give a list of the top 3 best strategists of all time, I would say obviously Julius Caesar number 1, and then number 2 Napoleon, and number 3 I would easily say Shaka Zulu. I mean, that man was a fucking
he was a beast.
He was a beast. He managed to conquer all of Southern Africa and became such a threat that even the British Empire struggled to fight him. Like, this man was no joke.
The Zulu Empire, like, subjugated is probably a little bit of a heavy word to use, but ruled.
It's a light word.
It's probably actually a light word to use.
Subjugated. Was a dictator.
The other tribes that were more peaceful, for lack of a better word. But that's because the Zulu people fought. They were a warring
very
culture.
Proud people, and they have every right to be proud. They have a history of absolute domination of Southern Africa. So
What's the
Listen,
side?
I don't know how.
Images.
I don't know how any of this kind of spills into current day, thought, but there is a culture of.
I think that you can't do like a direct one-to-one, but you can. The general story that is brought forward by the that is like told on through the age. I think that has like some inertia or momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, KZN, the shorelines of northern KwaZulu-Natal were very, very treacherous areas. You didn't want to go near there.
I love
if you were
the Badlands. The fuck's in the Badlands?
The Badlands. That's literally just all of the Northern Cape. So the Badlands.
Northern Cape.
This is a play on words. They refer to any sort of desert, arid, very dead area sometimes as Badlands.
Oh, it's Badlands.
Because it's very bad to try and live there or grow things there or do anything there. So it's not that these are where all the bad people live. It's just those are the Badlands.
This is what the Zulu people.
Yeah.
And yeah, they originate from KwaZulu-Natal, which is
that's
the name.
Yeah, that's where they were. That's where the Zulu Empire began. An absolute force to be reckoned with.
Very interesting.
We obviously, because I grew up in KZN, a lot of our history classes were going to some of these sites. So like Rorke's Drift and Isandlwana and all those places.
I've been to Isandlwana.
Fuck, dude, there's
wild.
There's a lot of history happening there.
Dude, it is so weird going to Isandlwana and like just looking at the ground, and it's like perfectly peaceful. It's lovely. And just to think of like a massive battle took place,
where the British were, I don't know if the British won this. I think they were completely.
No, they were completely annihilated. The entire battalion, I think it was annihilated.
I remember that because we climbed that mountain in the distance there, and we took a look over the main battlefield. And then obviously Rorke's Drift was a big one for the Brits because obviously they were able to hold off there. But Blood River, not a good battle for them. Yeah, it was.
Well,
it was a rough
one. Rorke's Drift happened shortly after Isandlwana.
Yeah.
This is a wild fucking story, dude.
It was literally just that little. Drift. We went to that building. Where they held off. Yeah.
But you had like a company of like 20 men. Holding off a Zulu
holding off an entire
army,
Zulu army, obviously it helps to have guns, but
it definitely does.
What makes Shaka Zulu so formidable was his battle tactics and how he was able to, he didn't invent it, but he perfected the pincer move where they sort of come in from all sides and
the bull and horns.
Yeah, the bull and horns, that's what they called it. And it was a push forward. With the flanking maneuvers coming in from either side, and they could do this with such ease because they built up a horde.
They had the
warriors.
Numbers. Yeah,
they had such big numbers. Yeah,
they could do it. Yeah,
and they were also very disciplined soldiers too. They're to this day the fighting styles and the shield. The grouping together of shields to obviously fight off. It didn't help very well against musket fire, but it was very similar to how the Romans would fend off arrows and spears. They used to do similar sort of movements with those shields like that.
Why their shields?
It was quite literally
the size of their bodies.
Yeah, quite literally. No, it was quite literally the British Empire at its time fighting off an African version of the Roman Empire. It was that level of tactician. Awesome. They weren't dealing with just anybody. They were dealing with a really intelligent warlord.
But it's wild to see that the MK party has done so well. And this doomsday coalition, if it does happen, Like,
people say that I don't know how it's going to happen with the current demands. Like, they would have to fucking, because Ramaphosa said.
To be fair, of all those demands, so like the nationalization of land doesn't sound
as
as
a policy
bad.
demand.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
doesn't sound that bad at all. Yeah.
The demand of like the ANC will never allow go into coalition with MK with Cyril as
the president. There's too much bad blood between Jay-Z and Ramaphosa.
Yeah.
So that's never going to happen. And Cyril Ramaphosa said in his IEC speech, number one, that everyone needs to, no matter how disappointed they might be, accept the election. I mean, there's been all this talk of rigging, right? Rigging from all over. Oh, dude, Twitter is on fire. And obviously it's the terminally online bunch, but
who have got brain rot from America.
Bro, the brain rot on Twitter is insane. Like, I can compare some of these EFF supporters to literal MAGA types. Like, the level of election denial is like bizarre. Like, number one, the DA rigged it in the Western Cape, obviously. So somehow the DA, with their fucking 20%,
with their measly,
with their measly 20%,
with their measly 53% of the votes in the Western Cape.
Yeah.
Okay,
in the Western
they
Cape.
just got over the line.
They rigged the election to get over the line, to literally get 1 percentage point more than last time. Okay, so well done to them. The ANC rigged the election against the EFF so that they could literally lose parliamentary majority.
Against the EFF?
Or the EFF, like, yeah. And then now even Julius Malema is a sellout now, because Julius Malema accepted the fucking election results. Oddly enough, Julius Malema has been extremely... not subtle, what's the word? Soft. He's been he's not been very fiery in any of this.
Maybe it's because he wants to build that coalition with the ANC.
Well, I think number one, he does want to have some power, okay, as being the fourth most popular party now. And number two, I think he has to play a line, because unfortunately for Malema, he lost a lot of his support, I think, or whatever growing support he might have gotten, because of his stances on immigration, number one, and his support for LGBTQ issues.
Wait,
now,
what?
Yeah, I mean, he's been very...
Malema's progressive in that way? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's very progressive in that way, which has pissed off a lot of his base.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, because he never used to be that way. Malema used to be, at least 10 years ago, when they talked about Custer Semenya, when that was a big thing. I think Malema's comment was that, in my village, to find out if you're a boy or a girl, all we had to do was pull down your pants. Like, that was his comment on the matter.
Yeah.
But this was fucking 10 years ago. So Malema, the big firebrand, the guy that everyone's so fucking scared of, and which I've always said was a paper tiger, has quite literally, like, the EFF has plateaued, and the support is just there's no base. That's what I keep saying.
Well, the thing is that the EFF are Marxist-Leninists.
Number one, and number two, their voter base is young. Okay, their voter base will always be very, very young. And once those young people grow up and start realizing how the world works, they end up, moderating their views quite often. It happens to everyone. Whether you're a Marxist-Leninist or a fucking Nazi, your views tend to moderate as you get older. Now, it doesn't always happen to everyone, but this is just a general trend for most people.
Yeah. And I guess their main thing.
So there's no base there in terms,
and national expropriation of land.
Okay,
which to be fair, are quite
popular,
very contentious issues.
They're contentious issues, but popular amongst quite a few South Africans. Mainly the most poverty-stricken, which makes sense. I don't think their entire base comes from young people. I'm sure there are quite a few Marxist-Leninists running around that are, in their 40s.
Yeah, tear down the system. Yeah, rebuild.
Tear down the system, 100%. But they will always be the 10% party. They didn't grow. They in 2014 they got 6%. In 2019 they got 10%, and everyone was like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna just keep growing in power." Well, in 2024 they got 9% again. So now they've plateaued quite effectively. Okay, let's just say 10%. So they're basically
10%, round it off, yeah.
Rounded off to 10%. What was it, 2019? It was, okay, let's say 11%.
2019 was like, was 11. So,
okay,
so they've
lost
a 1%.
Not a massive percentage of support, but enough to say, hey, this is your peak.
Well, and they've been knocked down a peg from being third now to being fourth because of the peeling of ANC into MK.
Yeah. So here's the issues, right? The DA have two options when it comes to this coalition. Number one, they can enter into a formal coalition where the two parties merge and it becomes something like the DANC, okay?
I don't think that won't happen.
That won't happen, number one, because then the DA completely disappear and the DA and the ANC become and this could wash so many votes all over the place in the next election. And also that would also mean that the official opposition would be the MK, which
this won't happen. The merging of parties won't happen.
So I don't think these parties are going to merge together.
The DA wouldn't even let that happen.
And the DA wouldn't let that happen, number one. And number two, if the DA did let that happen, that would mean that John Steenhuisen would need to be deputy president for that to happen. So we would have a Ramaphosa Steenhuisen ticket, quite literally.
That's wild.
What can you imagine? This the most generic white guy ever becoming the VP of South Africa. That would just, I don't know, that's kind of perfect, actually.
Yeah. So then an informal coalition.
Now, an informal coalition would be more on the likes of that. The DA will support the ANC forming a minority government. But the DA will quite literally act as watchdogs, and they will vote along ANC lines when the ANC does normal stuff, like whatever. If things get too crazy, the DA will veto and they will decide not to vote.
And then
but the DA and the ANC line. So the DA and the ANC will quite literally become very close to each other as parties, and they will probably, the DA might need to align some of their talking points along with ANC talking points, maybe whatever, and the ANC might have to compromise on a few things, maybe
the funny thing is the DA becomes almost like a rubber stamp.
A kingmaker. Yeah, a rubber stamping kingmaker kind of party, okay? This is not a good outcome for the ANC, because this means that in many ways the ANC kind of looks like that they're basically sort of
they're powerless,
kowtowing. They're powerless.
In both of these situations, the ANC is powerless and has to kowtow to the other party. Yeah,
which is fine. The DA have also said that within this, to prevent the disastrous coalition, that they will allow the ANC to have a minority government. So if the ANC so chooses to pass some kind of policy and they say, okay, well, let's see if we can talk to the EFF to get votes, the DA will obviously vote against them. But if the ANC manage to convince the MK or the DA to pass whatever, then that's within, their rights as a party. So that is a kind of like what you consider to be any sort of coalition at the end of the day, where, the coalition is more just like an informal block of parties that vote very similarly to each other.
Or just vote in the direction.
Vote in the direction which
of the
both
policy
parties
that
have,
they agree.
That they agree together.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be planning of policy.
It's going to be a fucking ad hoc basis, dude. Jesus.
Which would give the DA a lot of power in Parliament. Which would not be the worst thing ever, but the problem is that the ANC would do this, and then for the next 5 years they would govern and whatever, but then 2029 would come around, and who the fuck knows how much the ANC will suffer for doing what they did.
politically, the
Doing what
only way
exactly?
for them to survive.
Suffer from whatever decisions they have made previously.
Yeah, so suffer from the decision of aligning with the DA or anything like that. But their only hope here is to actually form some kind of like coalition where they actually get their acts together in the next 5 years and, you know, bring the economy back around, maybe sort out load shedding, do something about income inequality, you know. Who the fuck knows? I mean, these are huge fucking asks, okay? But any form of alliance...
Any form of, like, curbing of corruption or anything like that.
So aligning with the DA for both parties would be politically hurtful in some ways because they're not natural fit partners.
No,
you know?
they really are not.
They're literally, the DA is literally the official opposition, you know.
Yeah,
and they're not opposites. Like the DA, I wouldn't say are right wing. I would say they're more center right leaning.
But in the public consciousness
the
of
DA
South
is
Africa,
the fucking apartheid
the ANC
party, you know?
and the DA are literally direct competitors.
They are diametrically opposed to each other. Effectively, they aren't. There are a lot of things that they can quite happily work together to pass. They can form easy coalitions all over. So if the DA and the ANC decide to work together...
it's wrong to say that the ANC opposes the DA. It's the other way around. It's the DA opposes
the DA
the
have always
ANC.
opposed the ANC. Yeah, remember that. The ANC don't have much to say about the DA.
ANC doesn't give a fuck, dude.
The ANC don't give me... Yeah. So it's quite literally a case of the DA coming in and curbing their rhetoric around the ANC and being more of watchdogs. And someone like John Steenhuisen being able to pick new cabinet members or help draft a coalition manifesto for the next 5 years, stuff like that. This is the most likely outcome of all of this.
This would be the best outcome.
It's the most logical one. Unless the MK and the EFF moderate their views or their demands, this is probably the way things are going to happen.
Which is good.
It's good. I think it's good for the DA
have the DA made any demands of the ANC like MK and EFF?
All they've said is that they will work with the EFF. They'll work with the ANC to ensure that this doomsday coalition doesn't happen.
I've heard they've put together a coalition board. Was it?
Yes, it's the multi-charter party, which is not. This was something that happened pre the elections. It was basically a mixture of parties from the DA to the IFP to the African Christian Democrats, the Action SA. They were. So Steenhuisen is walking a bit of a tightrope here because on one hand he's saying, "Hey, listen."
Sorry, go ahead.
So on one hand, he's like, hey, listen, guys, the multi-charter party is our thing. Because the main reason why they formed it is because, number one, they knew that the ANC would lose their majority somehow, somewhere. And if somehow they were able to, altogether, these parties, somehow get over 50%, they would be able to form a government, this multi-charter party, without the ANC, without the EFF, and obviously the MK wasn't even a consideration at that point. Because whether or not the MK was a factor, it was most likely the case that the ANC would have lost quite a few votes. Not so much to lose their majority, but enough to make it very close. The MK was obviously the game changer.
MK was a fucking wild card that I didn't.
The MK came out of nowhere, bro. They entered into the polls like in March or February, where they started polling them, and we were like, holy fuck, these guys are like at 10%. What the fuck is going on here? But like before then, the concept of the ANC losing their majority was like something that was probably going to be a case. So whether it was the EFF that was going to take most of the votes and a split between the EFF and the IFP and maybe a few smaller parties, or this game-changing
or
MK.
the DA comes out of nowhere.
and then somehow steal 70% of the vote from the ANC.
Yeah,
which is unlikely.
That was not going to happen.
That won't happen. So the best that the the best that we can hope for is a DA ANC coalition. Which
there was a video. I saw an announcement by the DA spokesperson saying that they had put together a like a committee, a coalition committee, and that they were willing to now open to talks with the ANC. Yeah. And it involved like Helen Ziller and some other people. Let's see if I can actually find it.
Well, check this out. This is Steenhuisen's comments. Couple of... Yeah, I think this was yesterday. So, I mean, this is pretty much their entire... I haven't seen this, so I don't know what he's actually saying.
Send it my way.
I sent you a video.
On?
Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
as the dust of the election starts to settle, we can start to see the way forward more clearly. I want to begin this evening by thanking the millions of South Africans who came out on election day to make their mark on their ballot papers. I want to particularly thank the over 3.4 million voters who gave their trust and support to my party, the Democratic Alliance. The people have now spoken, and they have not given an outright majority to any party, thereby demanding cooperation from their political leaders. With this historic result, our country has arrived now at the next great fork in the road of our long and complex history. As we digest the results of the 2024 elections and their implications, I know that many of you are feeling uncertain and anxious about the future. Yet it is important to remind ourselves that we have faced times of even greater anxiety and uncertainty before. Throughout our history, South Africans have overcome seemingly impossible odds together. We have done it before, and we must do it now again. Just over a year ago, I spoke to all of you from the floor of Gallagher Estate, where the final votes are now being counted. Following my re-election as the federal leader of the Democratic Alliance, I committed the DA then to forming a unified opposition bloc that came to be known as the Multi-Party Charter. Throughout the election campaign, I encouraged voters to support the Democratic Alliance and the Multi-Party Charter to ensure that we brought the ANC below 50% and were able to build a collective majority of 50% plus one to form a new government.
Okay, so the Multi-Party Charter was an attempt to take votes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
How did that charter actually do in the overall elections?
What do you mean?
The multi-party charter. That would be a party in of itself, right?
It would be a party block, so a voting block. So in essence, a bunch of parties together that would all vote on the same lines.
Okay. Oh, so it's not going to show up directly in the...
No, it's a block. Which is what I was saying what could be the case between the ANC and the DA, like a voter block, less than a formal coalition.
Yeah, and that's a coalition of DA, IFP, FF Plus, and Action SA.
Yeah, which is nowhere near even 30%, let alone the 50% required.
Yeah.
So Steenhuisen is basically sort of riding this line where he's like, listen, the multi-charter charter is very important to me, but holy shit, the ANC just lost such a huge majority. We could actually,
as DA, like have an impact.
And we could even bring our multi-charter party with us, depending on how they would feel about that.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
While the DA grew nationally and in 6 provinces, the Charter unfortunately did not collectively achieve majorities at a national or provincial level. Despite this fact, the Democratic Alliance is extremely grateful to our multi-party Charter partners, and we remain committed to working constructively with those that are prepared to stand with us in putting the country first at a perilous time. During that same speech from the floor of the DA's Congress last year, I also indicated what the DA's position would be in a scenario where the ANC loses its majority and the MPC falls short. At the time, I said that if the scenario materializes, and I quote, "The DA will make it our number one priority and do absolutely everything in our power to prevent an ANC-EFF doomsday coalition from taking power," unquote. In the 14 months since I spoke those words, the rise of the MK party has only added urgency now to that commitment. The reality is that the DA is the only party that foresaw this risk and spoke openly and honestly with voters about it. And so it has now come to pass. Based on current projections, a combination of the ANC, the EFF and MK have the numbers to take power nationally, as well as in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. The bottom line is that collectively, they have the numbers to take power, whilst the multi-party charter does not. This is, of course, not the outcome that we wanted, but it is the outcome that we must now deal with. The DA will not bury our heads in the sand. We will face up to this challenge, for that is the task of leadership. All through the election, the Democratic Alliance undertook to rescue South Africa from the doomsday coalition. And we will now do our level best to do exactly that. We will do so not only for the people who voted for us, but for the people of South Africa as a whole. As a result, I can today announce that the DA's federal executive has unanimously adopted.
Yeah.
He's making a very clear distinction between saying, "Oh no, we're against the ANC," but now it's the Doomsday Coalition. This is the new terminology. So it's not like, "Oh, it's the ANC, it's ANC." It's now, okay, well, we might actually work with the ANC. So now the new enemy is this coalition.
That is the ANC. So, and that coalition is going to be a faction within the ANC, as well as MK and EFF.
MK, EFF, yeah. So he's now sort of positioning his self to try and show that the DA is more than willing to work with the ANC to prevent that from happening. So that's where this is going.
Which is good. He needs to do that.
Yeah, they have to pivot towards this.
The thing is that they will be a part of the ANC, and the question is how big of a part of the ANC will want to align with MK and EFF.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Cyril Ramaphosa has to assuage. Because even though there's a lot of ANC stalwarts that are still strong with the ANC, the idea of working with the DA could be disastrous for them. They could literally break them apart, or it might not. We'll just see how willing they are to govern, as opposed to, go the Banana Republic route, which was, literally pardoning a former criminal. Like, my God.
Yeah, this is full on Banana Republic.
I don't know, no matter what the fuck you think of the DA, no matter how much you might not like the DA or not like their party president or whatever, the outcome working with the DA versus working with these guys is so much better. It's more governance. It's more like trying to keep things going as opposed to like insanity.
Yeah, and instead of tearing it all down.
And the market's already predicted this. Like when talk of DA, ANC, like coalitions were coming into play, like I think there were predictions that the rand would literally gain like a whole like point against the dollar. Like it would be quite a strong boost for the economy. Yeah, just that coalition being something on the table would be enough.
Yeah.
I can today announce that.
So, yeah,
the DA's
definitely
federal
the more strategic route, but at the end of the day, a lot of these people, these populists, don't really seem to care too much about the economy.
Well, populists wouldn't.
No,
the EFF wouldn't care about the economy. at all. And MK doesn't care about the economy.
Governance. They don't care about. It's just Zuma.
It's just Zuma.
Yeah. It's wild. It is literally, as he says, a doomsday coalition. Like, I can't think of another way to call it.
Result. I can today announce that the DA's federal executive has unanimously adopted a resolution to initiate exploratory talks with other parties that share a commitment to the South African Constitution, and to identify options for the formation of governments at a national and provincial level where no party has obtained an outright majority. To facilitate this process, the federal executive has appointed a negotiating team composed of Ivan Meyer, Savibe Gahube, Alan Windy, Tony Leon, and Ryan Coetzee, as well as Helen Ziller.
Yeah, that's the thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
They will facilitate this engagement with other political parties. The purpose of these initial talks will be to gather information of what options are available to the DA as we seek to rescue South Africa from doomsday. This talented and experienced team will report back to myself and to the federal executive, whereafter the party will decide on the way forward. I, however, want to assure South Africans and the people of South Africa that the DA will always act in the interests of people throughout this unprecedented moment in our history. In all that we do, we will be guided by the DA's fundamental commitment to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law, promoting non-racialism, effecting clean, accountable government with zero tolerance for corruption, and building a social market economy that creates jobs. Our engagements with other parties will also be rooted in the 7 apex priorities outlined in our manifesto. These include to create 2 million new jobs, to end load shedding and water shedding, to halve the rate of violent crime, abolish cadre deployment, lift 6 million people out of poverty, triple the number of grade 4 learners who can read for meaning, and ensure quality healthcare for all. My fellow citizens.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Ensure quality healthcare for all.
Uh-huh.
Does that mean that they are for the bill that Cyril recently passed?
I don't actually know what their full stance on that is.
What's their stance on that? What's it called? It's the National...
The National Health Institute. It's the NHI. So they want to institute those. Well, Ramaphosa wanted to institute those. And I don't actually know what the DA said about it. But it's interesting that he phrases it the way he does.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily saying, hey, we're open towards a fucking national healthcare system. But we do want to ensure that everyone gets healthcare. So it's,
Which is saying, probably keep it separate and then overhaul the public healthcare services.
Yeah, system. Yeah.
Out of interest, DA stance. I don't think we'll find it. Oh, here we go. Democratic Alliance. 50 reasons why it will never work.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, you see, the problem is, I think the Democratic Alliance's main issue with it is the single-payer mandate, which means that private insurance companies would eventually fall away, and everyone would literally just be on a national healthcare budget.
Yeah.
Which is all well and good, but unfortunately, the problem is that until that actually fixes itself, it's going to be a disastrous system in the first few stages without a multiplayer system where people can still opt to choose to pay for, like, let's say if they did something like Obamacare, right, where in Obamacare you had access to Obamacare, you can opt out of it, but you would pay a mandate fine. I think it was like a fee to opt out of Obamacare to get your own insurance, because I don't know how it works financially, but there's some sort of back pay through taxes, whatever. So you're like mandated to it. And if you don't accept the whatever, you have to pay a fee. I don't know. But that's how it worked. And I'd imagine they do something similar for, the NHI initially. But the worry is that it pulls like straight into literally just a national healthcare system without any option.
Yeah. And the thing is that the current public healthcare system in South Africa is absolutely inept, overwhelmed, and corrupt as fuck.
It's super all of these things. Obviously, at the end of the day, you can go to a South African government hospital and you'll probably get decent enough treatment.
And you'll still get treatment. Yeah, you can
still get treatment. But you will wait for it for a very long time. And going to a government hospital is not a fun experience. I don't imagine it's a great experience in any country. But the corruption, cadre deployment within these SOEs, literal state capture, like these are massive issues that we've been having.
That is
where essentially what goes on is that money that's set aside for these institutes are quite literally just, become a feeding trough for, members who have access to those funds. They just, take all that money for themselves.
Well, they just take the money that is earmarked for public institution and spend it on themselves. So,
or another thing that they'll do is that they will take a very expensive tender, and they'll get a big budget for it, and then they'll go for the cheapest tender afterwards, and then they'll pocket that money.
Pocket the difference. Which, to be fair, that budgetary difference that happens elsewhere. So you have this scandal in the UK where
for sure.
Who was it? It was some Duchess or something. Was being investigated for selling PPE to hospitals at an inflated rate.
At a massively inflated rate. Well, this is the same thing with that Martin Scarelli guy back in 2016, where he was basically the sole provider of a certain drug, and then he basically just inflated its price to
by 1,000% or something.
Like 1,000% ridiculous. He was taken to court for doing that. So
he was sent to jail for that, wasn't he?
He wasn't sent to jail for that. He was sent to jail for securities fraud, which was an entirely different thing. It was kind of like an Al Capone situation where you're this massive ass gangster and everyone knows you're a fucking crook, but then you fucking go away on tax evasion. It's like one of those things.
But I mean, the DA's main points here, and to be fair, South Africa, considering the amount of corruption that exists within the government, I think that's the largest disincentive.
It is the worst. Whenever I hear about anything being nationalized, that's why, you can't even talk about the merits of nationalization on its own in South Africa, because the state capture when it comes to corruption and all of that is just it's so rife that the idea of anything being nationalized is, oh, cool, another feeding trough for these fucking guys to just
anything that gets nationalized. Even if, as you say, there are merits to nationalizing something,
we can't even discuss those because we just know what's going to happen.
Those merits, those pros, are just so heavily outweighed by just the single con of corruption. When corruption gets solved, we can have those.
We can have that fucking conversation.
The other nationalization conversations, but. It's almost the private sector in South Africa is like a ring fence to try and prevent the rot of corruption from just spreading.
From happening, yeah.
Quite
literally. So that is the situation in South Africa right now. It's still very fresh because obviously our election only happened last week. And the IEC formalized the results on yesterday. All leaders were invited, including the MK leader, Jacob Zuma. He boycotted the event.
Really? Did he boycott the ICC counting event?
Yeah, he did. On Saturday, he even announced that I think that if they were to formalize these election results, that it would be a travesty on the country, and it would only be fair that him and his soldiers, meaning the MK, should, institute a coup or something like that. It's along these lines. Yeah, dude, he's fucking wild.
That's fucking insane to say.
And imagine that you've just emerged as the third strongest party from literally nowhere. You outdid the EFF by a huge
by a
amount,
5% margin, essentially.
By 5% margin in your first election. You're walking in to Parliament with almost
with a
56 seats. Yeah, with 14% of the vote and 58 seats in the National Assembly.
Which
and
is stronger than the EFF has
tantrum.
ever been. Yeah.
Ever been. Yeah. And you're throwing the biggest hissy fit. Like, you are, like... they're not a party to govern. They're a party to just assuage the bleating snowflakery of Jacob Zuma. Like, that's it.
Well, it's almost... MK is like it's almost like a fever dream.
It is a fever dream.
But they are... I'll be interested to know what percentage of the ANC's Zuma faction has gone to MK, and what that has then resulted in the ANC's balancing, because the balancing of the ANC's like factions.
Because if you look at
when Cyril was coming in, and it was either Zuma's wife or Cyril Ramaphosa, it was a 50-50. Like a hard 50-50, like too close for comfort.
So what we're referring to is the when Jacob Zuma's ousted out, obviously the party had to choose a new leader or party president, and during that session, it was in Mangaung in 2017. It was called CE17. They voted on who would be the next ANC leader for the upcoming elections, and it was close. It was between Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, which is Jacob Zuma's ex-wife and political ally, and Cyril Ramaphosa. And it was a 48 to 52% split. Obviously, Ramaphosa won.
No, it wasn't that high.
It was high for Ramaphosa. 56.
56 to 43.
Okay. Wait, no. This is William Keys. What are we looking at here?
William Keys.
This is for 20.
Sorry. This is for the most recent one. Sorry.
Yeah. So, because William Keys was the at that time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's It's fucking Jesus. It's a ball hair, dude.
Yeah, it was a ball hair, dude. It was literally a ball hair.
51.9% to 48.1%.
Yeah.
And this is literally the difference of a kleptomaniac and a slightly lesser...
statesman.
And a statesman, but like a slightly lesser...
And a statesman.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Ramaphosa
a crook.
I think he's a legit businessman. I think he is probably one of the most... Next to Thabo Mbeki and Nelson Mandela, he is probably one of the most legit leaders we've had. I think he genuinely is a very intelligent man. And I think he is very similar to Mandela in his way, where he knows how the world works, and he knows that the only way for South Africa to be a major player on the global scale or the global economy is for it to not fall apart and turn to a fucking banana republic. So there's the principle of that, and then there's the politics of who the fuck you align with. So at the end of the day... Yeah.
This is giving me anxiety just remembering how it went.
Yeah, this was close.
I remember watching it, dude, and I was like, what the actual fuck?
It was so close. So I think, I don't know, because remember, if you look at the 2023, I think it was 2023, the 2023 conference, where it was him and William Keys, the vote was much higher in his favor, about a 4-point swing. So yeah, it's at least a 10-point difference now.
So maybe we could say that like 60% of the ANC is rallied behind Cyril
now. I would say that percentage might be higher, considering that the members of parliament or whatever has been shaken up quite a bit, because the ANC has gone from like 230 to 180 something or 179. So they've lost.
Cut.
Yeah. People are going to get cut. Now, whether or not these people get cut out of the party is a different story, because, you can be a member of parliament and you can be a behind-the-scenes, very influential member of the party, or you can be a minister. just out of interest, South Africa has more ministers than England, France, and Germany combined. We have, I think it's a crazy total of almost 40-something ministers. No, I think that's crazy. I think it's like 36 or something ministers like that. So if you think about it, for every
36 to 28.
Yeah, so for every fucking 10 seats in parliament, you have one fucking minister. It's insane. So that's the percentage there. So we have a lot of, and that is a problem, because that means there's a lot of like people getting paid exorbitant amounts of money to like do God knows who what,
to do next to nothing, but yeah,
to just like sit around and earn money. We got a shit ton of ministers. Who's this minister of?
It's good. So yeah.
Who's this? Oh, we got a minister of tourism who's not even an ANC member. Of course, it's Patricia de Lille.
yeah, Patricia. She's part of Good.
So Patricia de Lille is back in the day, like 2009, 2014. She was part of, I think it was called, I can't remember what the party was called. It was some party that was rising in the Western Cape.
It's part of the Good Party, man. Good.
No, it was another party. It was called something else. Something with a P. I can't remember what it was. You might be able to find it there if you look for Patricia de Lille. Anyway, Patricia de Lille used to be in that party, and then her and the DA, when Helen Zille was head of the DA, they merged together and became like a coalition. And then she became a staunch member of the DA party, Patricia de Lille. And then there was obviously a falling out between her and, I think it was Musi Maiman. Because Musi Maiman was the interim, well, not interim, but he was the leader of the DA between 2013 and 2018. He, sadly enough, presided over the DA's worst electoral, well, I wouldn't say worst, but a slow decline in their votership. They didn't do very well in 2014. But yeah, there was a lot of issues. They fell out, and now she is the Minister of Tourism for the Good Party in the current administration.
That's wild. And everyone else is ANC through and through. This should all be shaken up.
Yeah, this is all going to be shaken up, bro. There's going to be probably DA people in this position now.
Please put someone in DA for fucking water and
sanitization. Can you imagine? Like, can we just get like
It's just one. Just one.
But whatever you do, just make sure that it's a black person, because I swear to God, if you put a white dude in like power ESCOM, you're just gonna have all this warring and bullshit.
You'll get assassination attempts, man. You'll get assassination attempts.
And to be honest with you, I think De Rutte was more of a hindrance than anything, because yes, he tried to do something good, but at the end of the day, all it did was just stoke up flames, and then everyone was fighting against him, and while that was happening, nothing was getting done, and everything just turned to shit.
Yeah.
I think he was too heavy-handed. I think he didn't play the politics game well enough. And, he almost lost the Game of Thrones, literally.
Yeah, literally lost his life.
He almost got Cersei Lannister right out of there.
Yeah. But, anyway, to wrap things up...
That's a whole other story, But to wrap things up, it's very much up in the air at the moment. The most likely thing that we're going to see coming out of this election is a informal, maybe DA coalition with the ANC. It may even come to be that they become even more formalized with each other.
I think it's going to be an informal coalition.
Yeah. We're not going to see anything quite to the likes of this. Yeah,
it's going to be a rubber stamping of policies that the DA agrees with. And then there will be some, there will be some informal coalition, even with MK and EFF on some issues.
At some points,
I don't think MK will hold the belief that Cyril must step down and the national pardon to Zuma piece.
I don't know. These guys are pretty wild.
You think MK is just going to go rabid?
Bro, they are rabid. Like they
I don't know what they're going to do in Parliament. Are they going to show up in suits, or are they all going to show up wearing shirts with Jay-Z's face on them? I don't know.
That's EFF.
And that is the EFF. The EFF do show up wearing, and they're always very disruptive in Parliament. But I don't think. I think the EFF, to be very honest with you, is far less of a threat to the country's democracy than the MK are. I think the MK are quite literally the literal doomsday scenario. Like they're fucking scary, dude. Like the EFF are literal clowns, dude. We all know this. No one takes them seriously, okay? But the MK
can actually do damage. Yeah.
They could do serious damage. They could turn around, and yeah, it's a worry. It's a really big worry.
Yeah. One thing though is for coalition governments, don't they require 60%?
It's 50% simple majority. You need 66.6% to change constitutional law. So in other words, if you wanted to change the constitution to allow expropriation without compensation, which was what the ANC have been wanting to do, well, the ANC kind of came at that one a little too late, because the only time they've ever received a majority that was a supermajority in the National Assembly was in 1999, I think, when Thabo Mbeki was in power. I think it was 69% of the vote, so that was their strongest performance in the national elections. But since then they declined.
Okay, so it's a 50% for policy decisions, but like more fundamental
to change. You need literally 2/3 majority to do anything like that.
Okay.
And that is a very, very tall order for the current administration.
Well, then the
current forming administration.
The thing is that if MK chills out a little bit, the ANC could ally with them.
They could, yeah, but they still don't have their 66% majority.
For constitutional change that the EFF wants to do. Yeah.
The EFF's demands are quite literally impossible at this current venture. So unless the EFF, the MK, the ANC, and a bunch of other smaller parties all get together and vote to somehow change the constitution to allow for expropriation without compensation, or EWC for short, that's like a really tall. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
They don't have a super majority.
They won't have it even with the DA. So even if they come together with the DA, it'll still be like 61% majority on any passing of things. And whatever they vote alongside the DA with, you could be damn sure the MK
and EFF
are not going to support them. God, and if you think Parliament's a joke now, I can't even imagine how much of a fucking wild night it's going to be with both the EFF jumping around and the MK doing
Jacob
Zuma dances.
Speaking of, I think that's the perfect thing to just end this video off on. Where's a video of the EFF just fucking jeering in Parliament?
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Members in the gallery, you are not supposed to do that. You were told if you proceed, you would have to leave the house.
Like, what the fuck is this? It's like singing, doing whatever the fuck.
This is called disruption.
Yeah. And this just keeps on going. And like, let's skip forward 4 minutes. It's still going.
These guys, they committed to the
Order. Order, members. Members in the gallery. We repeat.
He's poor called order, but yeah, let's call it at that.
Yeah.
Bear back.
Cool.
Okay. How's it? Hello. Hello there.
Ooh.
How's it?
Oh, where?
Just put the chicken on. Should be done soon.
Nice. Well, that was a good little informal stream.
Stream's still going. It's just currently on break.
Let me just re-say. A very fun, informal segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I did forget to record, but the VOD is uploaded, so I can just download and clip it. So
yeah.
It's just not the best quality, but 720 will do.
720 will do. I was just checking out some of the changes you made to the YouTube videos. I love this Russia versus America thing that you did. That's pretty cool.
Oh, the thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's so ridiculous, dude.
I love the ICC one is still my favorite.
Still tops. Still your favorite for now. Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be my favorite as well. Because the Russia one, I literally was just like fucking. I was off going to go do something else. I was it was like 11 o'clock at night on like a Sunday or something. I was like, fuck it, we haven't done anything this week. I need to at least put something up. So
yeah.
So let me just throw that up. And I just AI generated the cartoon. It was like, fuck
I figured as much.
This is good.
I don't think you put. I think the the level of effort put into the previous thumbnail was definitely
a lot more,
yeah.
For sure.
But I've seen a lot of people now. They just got AI generated fucking thumbnails, and I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, I guess if everyone's doing it, but I don't know. There's this. Doesn't it just feel a little lazy? Like
it does. Like sure, the AI generated thumbnail looks nice.
Yeah, I think it looks fucking sick. But it's something you would do for like only like the lower rated videos or like just the fun ones. Like if we were like ready to do a research video, I think we would probably
put more effort into the thumbnail itself. Yeah,
effort into the thumbnail. Like when we do our Middle East research.
Yeah, I mean to be
specifically considering the Jerusalem context, I think that would be a good central point.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to focus too much on like Saudi Arabia or Iran or any of that stuff. I think mainly just, that region would make it easier. Well, because the Middle East is huge.
You can't talk about the Middle East without talking about the whole of the Middle East, dude.
You can't, no. But there's a lot of countries in the Middle East, and it's a lot of history. And I think for brevity, since, number one of our viewers did say that there was relative peace amongst Jews and Muslims, specifically to the context of Jerusalem.
Yeah, I think
so I would want to look more into that
zone, just within that zone of Jerusalem.
So we start there. So like in any research thing, like you start there, and then you come across something that's like separate to that might be important to get context from that side, and then you branch off on a tree, and then you just keep on going from there until you get like a fuller picture. But I think a starting off point would probably be good to have it as Jerusalem, as early as it's important. Which, fuck, I couldn't even tell you that. Like, this would probably be like Jesus times, probably. Like, goddamn. Maybe Jesus not that. Maybe like the formation of Islam around that time would be a good time to start.
Yeah, it would be a good start. So you could even do like slightly beforehand, just to say what was there, and then Islam was formed.
That's actually good. So this is how we did World War II in high school. Before we did World War II, we started with the downfall of the League of Nations after World War One to give us context for World War II. So if you want to study a specific point in history, I think you're very correct. It's probably good to just go a little bit further back to get the context of that point to see what happens afterwards. So what? Jerusalem, year 600. Let's go.
We're not doing that now. No, fuck, dude.
No, fuck, no.
I'm not ready. That would be, let's go.
Bro. Oh god, no. But that would be the. That would be what we would say if we were ready to dive in.
600. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. That's one thing I did. I think I will start to do more. And I need to find a better way of doing it. But having like a page of key points that we're talking about, that we slowly flesh out. So like for the SA elections, where we had the national vote, these are the top 4. Then like
I think we did a very good brief overview. Just because we covered the main key points, the main contenders. I suppose we could have gone into more detail about why Jacob Zuma was wanting a pardon, because obviously Jacob Zuma was number one found for a bunch of corruption charges and that whole Zondo commission, and that wasn't even why he was found guilty. He was found guilty on contempt of court because he refused to show up to any of his fucking court hearings. So they just decided, well, fuck that, you're guilty of contempt, you have to serve like a minimum of 5 years. And then in 2021 they finally got a warrant to arrest him. They arrested him. And they took him to, and fuck, the media covered this so heavy.
That would have been a better rabbit hole to dive down than diving down the later rabbit hole of Patricia DeLille. Whatever the fuck that was about.
Like, why did we even talk about the fucking Minister of Tourism?
Well, it's because there was the one person that wasn't ANC in the cabinet. And it was Patricia
she was.
DeLille.
Yeah, and she's a very interesting figure. She's very colourful. Let's just say that.
Yeah. But we didn't need to dive down that.
Back many horses. Let's just say.
But yeah, no, it was good.
But all in all, it was a good rough overview of the elections. If we were to ever follow up on it, we definitely need to go up into what would be interesting is to follow up on the Jacob Zuma route, because now that he's become a much more prominent figure in our politics, more than we'd ever have hoped or wanted him to be. Now is a good time to explain exactly what happened in 2021, why those riots went down, why KZN almost turned into a fucking war zone. Because everyone on Earth knew about that shit. I was listening to Lawrence Southern chirping on about that, Tim Pool chirping on about, like, everyone knew about those riots, dude.
That would be like the rise of MK video.
That would be the rise of MK video, yes. And that's where you start, boy. That's because you're starting with the context, yo. 2 years earlier, Jesus Christ, it was 3 years earlier.
Let me stream my
July.
Screen so you can see what I'm doing.
It was the July fucking protests. It's now May. It was almost, it's now June. So it was almost 3 years ago, bro. Just about. Okay, so SA elections we covered. So now we got some raw content for that we can cut up and.
I'm not even gonna cut up. I'm just gonna post.
Don't you want to cut it from like where I dropped in and then?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna cut the front.
Just cut
part.
that because we don't have to cut all the intro stuff in, because we didn't do that was a lot of talking. Like, we talked so much, we even interrupted each other. We were talking so much, like it was. We had so much to say about it, so it definitely wasn't something that we.
It was also about an hour and a half video, I think. It'll be just under.
Another thing that I think I've
good.
noticed is that when we listen to videos, because our sounds are the same, it pretty much we drown out to the sound of the video. But like, I don't think that's really a bad thing because we usually just pause anyway. So
yeah, I know that we do like sometimes just pass comment while the video keeps, and I just like keep playing the video.
Yeah, I think we should just leave passing comment. I would literally just say, I think what I would just say is pause here, and then you'd pause, and then I'd make my point. And even if it's like literally for like 5 seconds, then we just go on ahead. It's just to like make a random point. That's fine. Like I'll just say, pause here, 5-second point, and then or something like that, and just like
Yeah. Or we somehow set it up. I'm pretty sure we can set up like a watch. Problem with a watch, I was thinking like a watch party or something.
No, what I need to do, we could do that, which is actually probably easier. But my problem is, and I should stop doing this, is because I'm watching your streams.
You're a little bit behind.
And I shouldn't watch your streams. I need to watch your fucking live stream from Discord.
Yeah, I didn't put on the Discord live stream.
Well, I should have asked you. It's probably something I should have prompted you for. But I was already watching the video from your stream, so it was already too late. It's just like whatever. Wait, do you have? Oh, you got the kangaroo there down there. Is that an image file? Yeah, that's an image file. Oh, I love it.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Fucking sick. Fucking.
Right, we could actually use this.
It's honestly the best AI generated thing I've seen. Like it's so far, like just for its purpose. Like just the hands alone, dude. That's all it.
Yeah, the hands are good.
The hands are very good.
I low-key want to make this the new avatar for the stream.
That would be cool. What is our current avatar?
Currently it's
Caesar. The eyes. Oh, the avatar. Oh, I thought you meant the
the profile picture.
Icon. Sorry, I thought you meant the profile picture. Okay.
Avatar. Yeah, you could definitely do it for profile picture.
Well, we could have these as avatars. You know, it's similar how I was suggesting we do something like, you be Caesar, I be Octavian, or something like that. We could probably have like avatars.
Yeah.
Like when. So we can have them like this, and then you can have it in the corner for when you're on, and then when we're both on, we can just have both of them sort of like next to each other in the corner, or something like that.
I was thinking of also just starting to actually use a camera.
You can use your camera
because there is a level of like audience engagement when
with camera.
You have that physical camera piece. I do want to set up that plugin where like it's a more advanced Discord plugin.
So that we can stream so what we can do is stream our cameras to Discord, and if you can stream your camera through Discord or something like that.
Oh no. So this is maybe I showed it. I'm not sure if I did show it to you.
Maybe.
Hold on.
Can't remember if you did.
Quickly change from. I'll show it to you now. Let me just change this.
Well, just out of interest, I'm about to stream a boss fight, so if you want to stream my stream.
2 seconds, I shall. This is just going to be computer Skullduggry.
Skullduggry.
Let me pull up your stream.
Mother.
I'll be right back.
Oh, we're catching
my
up.
foods. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find that Skullduggry part. So, you know how with Discord you have the overlay in the top left-hand corner?
Yeah, that. Yeah, I see that.
So you get a OBS plugin that allows you to blow those up to like larger avatars, kind of. Or like that are like squares.
Yes.
The thing that on my
I know
Destiny
what you mean.
stream,
So you can
yeah.
you can literally grab someone's like camera from their Discord stream and just like.
I'm not sure if it's you can do a full camera, but you can do like an avatar, like an animated avatar.
Okay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they're all just windows, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you're talking about the actual avatars and people. Okay, yeah.
Like
I get you
it's a thing that Destiny's recently added. To
yes,
the stream
I've seen
brings
that.
people
Yeah.
on.
Well, more probably August, but still.
No, it's done live.
Oh, so he's done it on his actual stream.
It's done
Okay,
live.
yes.
I'll see if I can find the.
Oh wait, no, I think you showed this to me where he was talking to that journalist dude. I think I remember, and he brought
Yeah, and he brought
Yes,
people
yeah,
on. Yeah.
and I remember this. Yeah, it's actually a cool little function.
And then you can create custom functions so that it animates when you're talking. So like when you're not talking, it's like grayed out and like whatever. And when you are talking, it lights up and like the mouth opens or whatever.
Yes, I remember that now. Okay, so you know that I think it's that that Margaret boss fight, right? The one that we struggled with in our first attempt at Elden Ring. Yeah, that guy. So this guy's basically the same dude. It's just the real dude. That was just a hologram. It's a pretty cool boss fight for the middle of the game.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? Godric the Golden. The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn. Praetor Rykard. Lunar Princess Rani. Willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Fell thy king Morgoth, last of all kings.
That delay.
That delay though.
Oof. Jesus. He's a lot more aerobic than last time. I don't know if that attack was worth the damage. Nice, bleed. Oh shit. Fuck, dude. Chugging away here. Fucking.
Agreed. Why didn't you just chug?
Just chug through his attacks. Okay, fuck. Let me prepare for this properly. No summons. Gotta 1v1 him. That was a bit soon. Right. You know what I gotta do? I gotta bait out specific attacks. Whew. This one. I can punish this. Oh shit, that was Too soon. Shit.
Well, damn.
This is the point in the game where it goes from, you know, challenging but fair to quite challenging. I honestly find this guy to be harder than some of the final bosses.
Oh, really? Just with how aggressive he is?
He's so aggressive.
Yeah, he looks very aggressive.
I'm gonna try using that. Oh wait. I have crap. If I had rivers of blood, I would have more control over my bleed attack, but this thing kind of has a very slow animated attack, which you can hyper armor through, but at a cost to like a lot of damage. Try to bait him to do that jump attack. Yes, that's it. Oh shit, that's still going. Ooh. Ooh. Jesus. It's AoE, bro. No. That was not worth it. Oh, that was so not worth it. Bro. Dark Souls 3 has fucked me over.
Has it?
Yeah, the timings are just so different. Oh, too slow.
Oh, unlucky. Got that explosion at the end. That fucked you up.
Yeah. That had to literally be perfect, though.
Roger dance.
That's a decent little chunk. Jesus. Do that fucking jump attack, bro. Come on.
Do the jump attack thing.
There we go, boy.
There we go. This is it.
Are you gonna be a bitch? Nope. Ooh. Cool attack.
Oh, cool.
Come on. No, 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 no. Getting greedy, bro.
Be able to join through the link in the description. So yeah, come chat with us and don't miss out. After you've chosen one, copy the appropriate template which can be found in the pinned comment from this video. Open the OBS browser source and paste the template into the custom CSS section. Note that some of the templates will require you to tweak the CSS to use them. You'll know if you have to tweak the CSS if I said so in the pinned comment. Now that we've successfully
Fuck.
I like it. Oh, you look at that.
Would you look at that?
Check the stream. Oh, sorry, not my. I mean stream, like actual stream.
Oh, hold on. Oh, check it out. Now that's cool.
So
yeah, I like that.
You can either do like on that. There are some other ways you can animate it.
This up. After you've chosen one, copy the.
But yeah, I think that's probably the best.
Well, until we can like do animations, which is like later embargo. That's cool enough.
Yeah, I'll throw the Discord overlay into part of the portrait, and I'll throw this overlay. Yeah, no, on that top left.
Oh fuck. I lose the grace.
What did you do?
No, I wanted to see if I could homeward bone, quote unquote, out. And you can, but you can't do it without losing your runes.
Oh, okay.
And I think I've got some material to upgrade this weapon, so I want to quickly do that. And then give that boss try another shot. But first I'm going to have to farm some runes.
Yeah.
It's
a solid addition to the yeah, that's the final one, if you have a look. That's what I'll go with.
Let me take a look.
So it's like that. You can see it go like turn on.
Oh wait, I'm still looking at the stream. Hold on, let me look at this.
Wrong stream.
Yeah, there we go. Now I'm looking at the right screen. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we be.
Do you think those are too big?
What are those?
The thing on the top left. So you'll see the Bongofett and the Timu lighting up.
Oh yeah, that's big enough. Oh, and they do a little bouncy bounce. That's cool.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing it, like making it a little bit smaller.
Well, let's just see how much it gets in the way. I don't think a lot of things
like
are in that
if say
corner.
I have that, like there's nothing really there. If say we pull up a, let's pull this up. Like nothing's there. What else could there be? Like yeah, there's nothing really up there in that corner.
No, I like that. The only thing that's up there is your tabs.
Yeah, but that
no one should be looking at that.
Well, people can look at it.
But they just won't see it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's done.
That
Easy.
looks good. I like that. Yeah, it's just a little tweaking. Your stream is looking pretty cool. I do like the dashboard.
Oh yeah, the whole bottom dashboard on the bottom.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I quite like it. I will do a reshuffle when I get my camera working. But
yeah,
I like the main like panel.
Yeah, we'll put cameras up soon. I think I can do that with my phone.
Oh, funny enough, I found out halfway through the video we were doing earlier that my whole avatar thing was completely off screen. So, I don't know why. Sometimes it like randomly resets. So don't worry, I'll show you later. But when I post the video, but it's really funny. It's great. I mean, in truth, what we could do is completely remove that avatar, center the pane or whatever, and then just have our speaking heads, so to speak.
Yeah.
It would be a lot cleaner.
So, what are you saying? You want to cut away the background of our avatars?
No, so it would be... now we're just fucking with the stream. So you would like remove this portrait stuff and then take these and like put them down here, or like no, that wouldn't work. Like you make them smaller, like just like no, that's too small. That wouldn't work. No, I prefer it up in the corner.
I like it where it is. Yeah, I prefer it where it is. Although that does look cool. The only way for it to, well, you know,
no,
move it. Wait,
I
honestly feel like it, even with it sort of sticking out a little bit, it kind of looks cool. Like if you move it back below, just above the pink bar, and make it a little smaller.
like that.
Or you know what you could do? Yeah, so like that small, and then move it up into the middle, just above the pink bar. Yeah. And then you sort of center it.
Yeah, and then you would center the thing.
Yeah. Although, see, the problem with it being there is that it kind of gets in the way.
It is in the way.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer it in the corner.
I agree.
And then you take that central panel and you center that. Where before, the reason why I had it off center, and oh, by the way, this is what the stream looked like at the start of the video. But with this, you know, that's why I offset it. But if we remove it, one, it adds a whole bunch more real estate. And then that's because it's not necessary. You know? And we just center the
doulas.
The panel, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool.
I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually do that now. Today we say goodbye to Caesar himself.
Oh dear. The embodiment of Caesar in his prime.
I know, it's very sad. I quite like
Even
Caesar.
though he is pretty much depicted as, you know, a devil.
As an imp,
yeah. That is probably one of the most glorifying images of him, to be honest. If at first glance, you know, if you were confused if you were like in any way confused about what a painting depicts, you would look at that, and you would first obviously look at, you know, Vercingetorix on the horse, because that's a very regal looking pose.
Yeah.
But you would be immediately drawn to Caesar afterwards, and I mean, he's sitting there all kingly, looking quite like an emperor, you know, wearing his red toga. Sometimes it was even purple. And just so you know, and I think you might be aware of this, purple was a very, very, very hard dye to get a hold of. So to get anything in purple, yeah, it was like, wow, you're rich. You're super rich.
Yeah, it was the color of royalty.
Yeah, quite literally. But I think they intentionally chose the color red here to show a completely different sort of
different vibe.
Light, yeah. It's I don't know, like it's one of the most polarizing images of Caesar, because in one way you get the artist's depiction, but in many ways it looks kind of glorious, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I quite enjoy it.
I quite enjoy it. Like, I would say if any painting would depict Caesar, it would be that one.
It'll definitely be one of the main ones out there.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So now...
Yes, I came here to upgrade. Can I not? Do I still not have... Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Can't even level. I could try this fight with Uchi. Let's see, could Uchi be enough? Yeah, let's see if we can try Uchi. Keep that. We don't need this. Hans's charge. You know, that should stack proper. Okay. New strat.
New strat, you say?
New strat. We're gonna boost our damage negation with some talismans. We're gonna use another rune arc. And then rune arcs are like embers, but they're much harder to come by. Let's see, boiled crab, catch flame. Okay, and we are ready to go. This is gonna be pure physical. Ooh, you did it! Bro, that ain't right. Throw a couple bolts, why not? There was a slight delay on that. Oh, fuck me, this shit. Oh, too early. Here we go. Oh. Ow.
But we had one more important sound we wanted you to hear.
Oh yeah, it is done.
Oh yeah. Come on, come on. Yes!
Congratulations.
And there you go. All it needed was a little Uchi faith. I just decided to drop the bleed and just go for straight physical. Yeah.
Yeah, that worked.
And it helped because the attack animation for this attack here is really quick and it does us so much damage.
It's a lot easier to manage.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, and I forgot I had these. But since they're holy, they do pretty much no damage to him. Oh wait, I gotta talk to him first.
And so he dies.
And so he dies. But now we learn of the great betrayal. This whole time we've been guided here by grace and this whole religion and these 2 fingers, and they're telling us to do this bullshit. And then finally we get here and it's like, sorry, none may enter. And that's it. And you're like, oh. And then you go back and try to get guidance from these guys and they're all gone. And you're just like, oh, okay. Now what the fuck do I do?
The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord is to pass the thorns. My
No shit.
serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the flame of ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord.
Okay.
There you go. You check the stream. That's his new stream.
Alrighty. Okay.
New stream layout.
I'm checking out the YouTube stream, but that is looking pretty good. Yeah, I like that. It's a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Which I think would be nice.
The only other improvement I can think of is with the follower and subscriber stuff, is then also having the same for bits and donations, and like compress that all. But I mean, we don't even have a subscriber, let alone bits.
No, we don't have to think about it. All we need to think about is just like an invisible overlay for chat, so we can see it coming up on the screen.
Yeah, I could set up.
There's
chat.
no reason not to have that. Just we don't have chat really going on, so the best thing for us to do is just to have it there, so we can also remember to engage with chat. Because even though I've got 2 streams open, I still don't actually.
Well, I have the chats open on mine. So.
Do you get a notification now?
This.
Okay.
This is what I see. It catches up, but I have the Twitch chat and YouTube chat.
Is that on a separate screen, just permanently?
Yeah, that's off on my left.
Okay. Okay, sweet. All right, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's sweet. That's sweet. So, me and Tiffany were talking, and we were talking about Peter because we were kind of like worried about him, because he's been gone, he just disappeared.
Oh, is he like fully AFK?
Well, you've noticed, like, he hasn't been on the Discord at all. It's just been us this whole time while we've been recording videos for like the past couple of weeks.
I mean, he said that his
he said that he didn't have a card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I followed up on that because Jason, who lives in close by, he's got my previous graphics card, which isn't old at all. It's like it's been used for only like 6 months before I replaced my PC and got Cameron's graphics card. But that aside, so he's got that card, and I got a hold of him, and I was like, "Hey, dude, are you still using it?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm still using it." But as I was like, "Okay, shit, lol, let me just tell Peter I tried." I was like, "Hey, bro, this was like maybe last weekend, not this weekend." I was like, "Do you have? Did you manage to sort out your car?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm just hanging out at my mom's place, but I managed to go pick up a 1060 or a 1070 or something, and he's going to use that." So I was like, "Okay, cool, sweet." And so I don't know, it was maybe on voting day, Tiffany was making a joke about something about a bomb, and then Peter said something about a doing some kind of bomb or something like that. I don't know, I can't remember what the message was, and I'm too lazy to look at my phone and go back. But if you want, you can see it too. And Tiffany immediately said, on TLB, yeah, on the WhatsApp group. And then Tiffany said, well, I know exactly what bomb he's talking about, like jokingly. And I was like, well, what bomb? And she's like, a ketamine bomb. And I was like, oh, okay. How do you know about that? But not only that, but like he's disappeared long time, right? I feel like he is got a little bit of a problem.
What, gone off the rails?
Going on at the moment. Yeah, gone a little bit off the rails, and he's hasn't disappeared so much as just not keeping up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, being
if I was living in Durban, it would be easier for me to... Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, if I was living in Durban, it would be easier for me to go and just check up on him, but it's not really the case.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening there. Hope he's okay though.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, hopefully he is okay. I know that he has like a couple times mentioned, hey, like let's play games, catch you on later, and then just doesn't come on.
Just doesn't come at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know his family is close, but I don't think he's constantly just hanging out with his family. Like, and
it does become a little bit of an excuse at some point.
Here's the thing that I also made some deductions about. All right, I figured that he earns maybe around like 12 to 15k a month. I would say. Okay, now number one, he doesn't own a car. All right, he uses company car. Number two, he pays next to nothing in rent. He mostly gets food from his mom, to which I hear he's always going over and having dinner there. Like, where does all the money go, bro? Like, and like, here's the thing, he never has money. He always says he doesn't have money for
that.
you know, just how fucking evil Hamas is. Like, there's just no, I can't, like, it's a really tough one, and for me, I think it's good that it's a tough one, because it's made me be so critical on how I analyze this approach. Because with Russia, Ukraine, I will admit that I was like, what the fuck is Russia doing? Most of the time when I was going over that. And yeah, sure, I try to understand Russia's point of view later on a little bit more, and like, but I still was like, yeah, but this is just some dying empire that's being retarded. Like, that's pretty much what it's doing.
Yeah, the last breaths of a dying empire.
The last breaths of a dying empire, and it's like, bro, just fucking die quietly, honestly. I don't care what your reasoning is, it's stupid. But like, yeah, that's how I can view that and feel good about it. I can go to bed thinking about that. I don't know if I can, you know, say, hey, you know, it's not really, you know, as bad as you might think it is, you know, like people saying it's not really, you know, it's not, I wouldn't say it's genocide, you know, but it's such a fucking hard line to cross, because people are really emotionally invested in this. And far more so than Russia or Ukraine. Yeah, so that's a tough one. So that's the current arc. I think we're probably going to go into election arc next, which is, you know, always my favorite. I love election arcs, bro. Best content from the election arcs. Like, I'll never forget that fucking stream. I'll link it, bro. This is my favorite. It's that train wreck stream. It was gold. I was watching it as I went to work the next day, and my boss and the sales fucking executive, they were all watching, like, and they were like, oh no, Trump's gonna win, and I was like, oh. and then all the states started flipping, and I was watching Destiny's live stream at the time, and he was on the Trainwrecks fucking podcast, and they were just having like a, oh bro, hold on, Trainwrecks Destiny elections. Fuck, dude. This was some golden content, you know. I could re-watch this fucking VOD, I swear.
Or just all the time.
Here it is. Fucking 3-hour stream, bro. You don't have to watch it now, but I'll give it to you. This is golden
my name is
content.
Gobi. Today I'm going to be showing you how to separate multiple systems sounds through a virtual audio cable using OBS from your game tracks, so that edit them. And video on this video will be 20 of virtual audio cables, which I will leave a link to this website in the description. And we are actually going to need a paid donation version. So how this works is you can donate whatever amount of money you want.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the sack.
So we are actually
a little bit late for me.
I paid 20 cents.
Catch you on the flip side, bro.
Very late, dude. No, super.
Oh yeah, catch you, buddy.
Gotcha. Ciao. I think I'm also on close stream. Oh, catch you all. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Go touch grass.